Drex here from Drex Factor Poi, sharing with you the love of poi spinning and flow arts to benefit your body and brain. And a couple weeks ago, I put out a feeler to find out some poi tricks that people were really keen on learning, and one of my favorite results was Ccaps. But before we dive in, I just want to give a quick shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Fire Mecca, Flow Fests, Flow Toys, Juggling Calling, Pyroterra Light Toys, Spinballs, and Ultrapoi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all of these awesome companies and the work that they're doing to support flow artists like yourself by checking out the links that I have down in the description of this video. And special thanks to the non-business friends of the channel, Lain Mochinsky and Pekha Pekkonen. Thank you both so much for supporting my channel, my work, and my mission. So, Ccaps are not just one poi trick. They're a massive framework that explains a whole lot of different things that you can do with poi. I did a video a couple years ago exploring the many different tricks that fall under this umbrella that I'll go ahead and link to down in the description. But today we are going to be talking specifically about Ccaps, and more specifically than that, both the hands apart as well as the hands together version of this concept. Alright, so Ccaps. Why do we call them that? Well, basically because our hand is going back and forth across a C-shaped section of space. Move my hand around from the bottom out to top and then back out to bottom. Basically, you're just moving your hand all the way up and all the way down, swiveling at the shoulder like so. Now the trick is you're doing this with a poi and you're keeping the poi spinning the entire time. So what this means is one of these segments you wind up performing an anti-spin pedal, and the other one you're performing an extension on, like so. Notice how I have the poi kind of curling around itself as it goes up and then going straight out in a broad, wide curve on its way back down. So we want to find ways of doing this with both hands at the same time. Most commonly, this is done with the poi spinning in opposites. There are variations, of course, where you can have the poi and hands moving together. I don't think it looks quite as cool. There are applications for it, though. Today, we're working with the versions that have the poi spinning in opposites, though. Now we're going to want to do this in wheel plane instead of wall plane. So rather than having both of the poi together on the same side of our body like this, we want to have each poi on each side of our body, like they're wagon wheels turning on either side of us. That way, when we look at it from the side, we can see the full profile of both poi. We're going to start off by doing the hands apart version because I think it's just a little bit more intuitive. To do that, I want you to go ahead and get the poi on your right hand side spinning reverse relative to you, and the poi on your left side spinning forwards relative to you. And you're going to get the poi in your left hand spinning up on high, so your hands are apart. I want you to get your timing in split time, which means that both of the poi are going to be spinning back towards you through the middle at the exact same time, like this. If you want to see what that looks like from the side, here it is. Again, I see both of the poi coming at me at the same time. One of the ways that I kind of think of this is that I am pulling the poi back at me in unison. So rather than thinking poi up and down at the same time, I'm thinking pulling them in order to keep this timing together. Okay, so next step is we're going to slice our poi and hands past each other like the jaws of an alligator. Boom, like so. Again, we want to try and get both of the poi pointed out away from us for a second, and then get the right hand up high and the left hand down low. Now, please notice, I did not change the direction that either of these poi were spinning. They are still spinning with the right hand poi going reverse relative to me and the left hand poi going forwards relative to me. So here's where it gets a little fun. We're going to have to do a little anti-spin pedal in order to switch the right hand down below and the left hand back up top. Here's how we're going to do that. I want you to imagine that you're going to try and push both poi away from you straight forward, boom, like so, and then you're going to separate them out so that your left hand goes up and your right hand goes down. Again, we push both the poi out and then we pull them back towards us with the left hand high and the right hand low. From here, I want you to get comfortable doing 1, 2, 3 beats in the middle and then pulling them apart. Again, 1, 2, 3 beats in the middle before pulling them back apart. When you can do 10 of those in a row comfortably, I then want you to go down to just doing 1, 2, and back apart. 1, 2, and back apart. And once you can do 10 of those, I want you to go down to just doing 1 beat and pull them back apart. 1 beat and pull them back apart. When you can do that, you are doing the anti-spin pedal. Well done. All right, now let's put these two pieces together, shall we? So I'm gonna go ahead and sweep across and then hang out for a second. 1, 2, 3, and then push through that middle part. 1, 2, 3, sweep them back apart. 1, 2, 3, push them out. 1, 2, 3, sweep them past each other. Yeah? Then I'm gonna try going down to just 2 beats. 1, 2, push them out. 1, 2, sweep them across. 1, 2, push them apart. 1, 2, sweep them back across. And then we just do 1 beat, push, 1 beat, switch, 1 beat, push, 1 beat, switch, 1 beat, push, 1 beat, switch, 1 beat, push, 1 beat, switch. All right, and now the challenge is to go straight back and forth between the two, thinking push, switch, push, switch, push, switch, push, switch. So the thing that I most commonly see go wrong when people learn this is that rather than pushing straight out, they more push down so that the pedal and the end of that motion are essentially right next to each other, like this. Now, I understand why it happens because it's more comfortable than doing the full anti-spin, but at the same time, it kind of loses the effect. So you really truly want to think that you're going to push straight out in front of you and then come down. Again, you might want to hang out for just a couple beats with your arms straight out before bringing it down to get yourself used to that position. Another problem I see a lot of the time is that people will say, do the thing where they push out and then their hands will just go straight up and down instead, kind of creating triquetras like this. You want to really see if you can push your hands out far away from you, both when they're doing the anti-spin side as well as when they're doing the extension side. Think that you're kind of doing the monster mash here, yeah? All right, now let's take a look at the hands together version. Now the real challenge here is that one hand is always going to be doing the anti-spin pedal while the other one is always going to be doing the extension. This is what we call a polyrhythmic move, and it results in points of the move that feel like they're in together time versus points where it feels like the poi are in split time. It goes back and forth between the two. This makes it a useful transition tool, but also a little bit difficult to get down. So how exactly do we get it down? Well, the first thing to realize is that now our hands are sweeping together, both going up and down at the same time. It's literally, we just raise them both up and bring them down. The move still works in wheel plane though. All right, so once again with my right hand poi going forward relative to me and my left hand poi going reverse relative to me, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and push both poi out away from me and bring them up near my ears. Now, I should have this visual check to see both poi pointed away from me on the way up. All right, so I'm going to time this off of the poi that is doing the anti-spin pedal going either way. So I'm going to start off once again with my right hand poi going forwards and my left hand poi going reverse. And with my right hand poi, I'm going to count off 1, 2 beats going up. Again, 1, 2 beats. 1, 2 as it goes up. Now the trick here is going to be that as the right hand is doing 2 beats, the left hand can only do 1. It's going to be really tempting to have them both performing beats at the same time, but that's not really what we're looking for. So as I'm doing that 1, 2 kind of feeling, I am trying to keep my left hand poi straight out the entire way up. And on the way back, I want to do the same thing with my left hand poi. I want to count 1, 2 as it comes down and let my right hand poi just sweep around and drop. Again, thinking 1, 2 as they both come down. Now I'm going to give you a trick for this one that at first is going to seem kind of strange, but I actually want you to count out loud when you're doing this. Going 1, 2 going up and 1, 2 going down. The reason for this is it's going to force you to slow down as you're going back and forth between these two positions, and that's going to make it more likely that you're going to stay in control as you're doing it. If you find yourself in a position where you're doing extra beats with the poi that should be doing the extension, practice just working with that hand alone a couple reps, doing the sweep going either up or down, and then immediately switching back into the place where you're doing the count with the sweep, and it should help. So we want to think 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, going right hand 2, left hand 2, right hand 2, left hand 2, going back and forth, like so. And just like the hands apart version, it's not unlikely that you're going to do this thing where you're basically aiming that anti-spin pedal really, really close to either end because, well, the anti-spin just doesn't feel that comfortable yet. That's okay just to start with, but as you practice, really dare yourself to push the poi out in the middle to give yourself that nice, clean C cap shape. Yeah? So of course the gold star that finishes all of this off is that you can actually switch back and forth between these two. So as I am doing the hands apart version of the cap, note that when my hands come together, boom, I can switch into the hands together version. And when my hands are straight out in front of me, boom, I can separate them out into the hands apart version. The hands apart version is also really helpful for switching into split time opposites anti-spin flowers like so, and the hands together version is great not just for switching into together opposites anti-spin flowers, but also it has that point in the middle where I can do the split time opposites version too. So it's actually a really, really useful transition tool. Cool, so this one wound up being a fun one for me. I hope it was for you as well. If you have requests for other poi tricks that you would like me to teach lessons on, let me know down in the comments and I will do my best. In the meantime, if you could make sure to leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe, it will help other people find the video and it will help my channel grow. So, thanks in advance. Real quickly, this video would not be possible were it not for the kind support of all of these nice people right here. These are my Flow patrons over on Patreon. They and the people listed down in the description help to make this video and all the videos on this channel possible. Thank you one and all so very much. If you would like to support me, my work, and the channel, here's how you can do that. You can sign up to become a Patreon supporter yourself by heading on over to patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi, or you can sign up for one of my many courses over at my learning site at learn.drexfactor.com, including my beginner and beyond basics courses that will take you through all the beginner stuff as well as all the intermediate stuff that will set you up for success. And finally, you can take one of my live stream classes. I do these every Tuesday night and I integrate a lot of dance into it. So go check that out at crowdcast.io/DrexFactor. If you dug this video and you'd like to check out more of my poi lessons, I will leave a link to a playlist of said videos down in the description as well as up here on screen if you are watching on YouTube. Also, the YouTube algorithm thinks that you might like this top video based upon your past viewing habits, so maybe give that a shout out as well. There's also a link to subscribe to my channel as well as to my Patreon, so please check those out too. Thanks so much for watching and have yourselves a good one. I'll be back with another video on poi spinning and flow arts for you real soon. Peace.